The first time someone realized their date shouldn't exist was when she saw his face, smiling at her, from the obituary page. Not a lookalike. Not a weird coincidence. The exact same photo from his dating profile. Only the obituary was dated 3 months before they ever matched. Most people assume dating apps are dangerous because of catfish, stalkers, and creeps. But the stories you're about to hear go beyond that. These aren't just bad dates. These are matches with people who, by every record and every trace, should not be alive. If you like stories like this, dark, slow burn horror, you can listen to Alone at Night. Consider liking this video and subscribing to Dark Signal for more. Now here are 5 true dating app horror stories. They all have one thing in common. They matched with someone who doesn't exist anymore. Story 1, the obituary match. My name is Aaron. I was 26 when this happened, living in a tiny studio with thin walls, bad plumbing, and a fridge that hummed louder than the traffic outside. I downloaded the app because I was lonely, not because I believed in soulmates. It was just something to do between overtime shifts and instant noodles. His name on the app was Mark, 29. Software engineer. Lived about 20 minutes from me. Normal-looking guy. Brown hair, faint stubble, dark eyes with that half-smile girls always say is kind. No gym selfies, no fish-holding photos, no just ask bio. His bio said, I make good coffee and bad decisions. Looking for someone to watch scary movies with. That last line made me laugh. We matched on a Wednesday. He messaged first. Hey, you look like the kind of person who judges people by their pizza toppings. Is that a deal breaker for us? We talked. About nothing and everything. My job at a call center. His work from home, keyboard clicking life. Favorite horror movies. The fact that we both hated cilantro. He typed like a real person. Long replies, little jokes, typos he actually corrected. We voice noted once, short, awkward, but he sounded normal. A bit soft-spoken, a little shy. For 3 days, I went to work, came home, and talked to Mark. My cheeks hurt from smiling at my phone. On Saturday night, he asked, coffee next week? My stomach flipped in a way I didn't know it still could. Sure, I wrote back. Wednesday, 7 p.m. at Brew Line. He heart reacted. That's perfect. Can't wait. The days crawled. My co-workers noticed I was in a suspiciously good mood. I picked out an outfit that wasn't too much, but still said I tried. On Wednesday, I got there 10 minutes early. Brew Line smelled like roasted coffee and warm pastries. People hunched over laptops. Indie music in the background. I took a table near the window. And at 7:04 p.m., he walked in. Same hair. Same eyes. Same half-smile when he saw me. If anything, he looked a little thinner than in his photos, like he'd lost a bit of weight. Aaron, he asked. His voice. The same soft tone from the voice note. That's me, I said, standing to hug him. His jacket was cold from the night air. His skin felt warm through my sleeves. He smelled like laundry detergent and faint coffee. The date was good. Simple. Normal. We talked for 2 hours. He listened when I ranted about rude customers. He told me he hated video calls, but tolerated ours because I laughed with my whole face. At one point, he stared past me, out the window, like he'd zoned out, his eyes unfocused. You okay? I asked. He blinked, then smiled. Yeah, just lost my train of thought, he said. Sorry, I do that sometimes. We said goodbye in the parking lot. He hugged me again. Not creepy. Not lingering. Just warm. I'll text you, he said. Get home safe, okay? I drove home grinning like an idiot. When I got inside, I texted my best friend, Mia, a long paragraph about how Mark is actually normal, and added about 12 heart emojis. Send pics, she replied. I grabbed a screenshot of his profile from the app and sent it without thinking. She went quiet for a minute. Then, Aaron, where did you get this picture? I frowned. What do you mean? From the app? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Then she sent a link. It was a local news article. I recognized the website. Sometimes they ran fluff pieces about farmers markets and street fairs. I clicked. The headline made my stomach drop. Local man dies in car accident at 29. Friends remember him as quiet and kind. The photo under it was Mark's profile picture. Not just his face. The same angle. The same background. The same shirt. I checked the date on the article. He died 3 months ago. My fingers went numb. I scrolled down. The obituary mentioned his job, his hobbies, the city he lived in, even the coffee shop we just left. My phone buzzed. A new message from Mark. Tonight was really nice. Thank you. I haven't felt that normal in a while. My hand shook so hard I almost dropped the phone. Mia, this has to be some kind of scam, right? I wrote. She replied instantly. Aaron, I went to high school with him. That's Mark. He died. I went to the memorial. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. My brain tried to find a rational explanation. Stolen photos. Fake accounts. Someone using a dead guy's identity. That had to be it. I switched back to the chat. You okay? He texted again. You went quiet on me. I typed erased, typed again. Mark, I wrote. How long have you been on this app? The typing bubble appeared. Stopped. Appeared again. Not long, he replied. Feels like a few weeks. Time is weird right now. Why? Where do you live? I wrote. You've seen it, he replied. The article. Right. My heart stopped. I hadn't mentioned the article. How do you know that? I wrote. The bubble appeared again, faster this time. I felt it, he replied. This tug, like something pulling me back there. It's like, every time someone looks at that page, it yanks me sideways. Into that night. Into the crash. Feels like drowning in glass. I dropped the phone onto my bed and stepped away like it had burned me. The room felt too small. The hum of the fridge roared in my ears. Another message came through. I'm not trying to scare you, he wrote. I wanted one normal night. I thought I could hold it together. My chest tightened. What are you? I wrote, fingers moving before my brain caught up. Are you really dead? A long pause. I remember headlights, he replied. Rain, the sound of metal folding. Then nothing. Then the sound of your voice. Your laugh. Like someone tuned a radio, and there you were. I paced my tiny apartment barefoot on the cold floor. My reflection in the dark window looked like someone else's. That doesn't make sense, I wrote. How are you on the app? How did you message me? I don't know, he wrote. One day there was nothing. Then there was a little red notification. New match. Everything is pieces. Glitches. I don't think I'm supposed to be here. My thumb hovered over the uninstall button for the app. You're not real. I typed, then deleted it. My eyes stung. What do you want from me? I wrote instead. For a long time, there was no reply. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone hot in my hand. Every sound in the building amplified. The pipes, the neighbor's TV, the car passing outside. Then, I wanted to remember what it felt like, he replied. To order a coffee. To sit across from someone. To be seen. You were the first match who didn't swipe away when I glitched. Glitched, I wrote. When the app tries to push me back, he replied. Sometimes my messages repeat. Sometimes my profile disappears for a while. Sometimes people match with me, and then I wake up back in the crash. They don't see me again. My hands trembled. What happens now? I asked. I can feel it pulling again, he wrote. The app, the dates, the article. It's like I'm stuck between screenshots. Another pause. I'm sorry, he added. This isn't fair to you. The chat window flickered. For a second, his name changed to user not found. Then back to Mark. Aaron, I wiped my eyes with the back of my hand. I'm here, I wrote. What can I do? Remember me as more than that article, he replied. Please, don't just remember the headline. The notification sound echoed in my head long after the conversation ended. Around midnight, his profile vanished from the app. Not unmatched. Just gone. Like it had never existed. I checked the article again the next morning. The comments were filled with condolences. Someone had posted an old photo of him laughing at a party. I still don't know what I talked to that week. A glitch. A ghost trapped in an algorithm. A piece of him, clinging to the last place his face was uploaded. All I know is that sometimes, when I scroll past another smiling stranger on a dating app, there's a half-second where the screen freezes, and I catch my reflection layered over theirs. And for just that heartbeat, I wonder, who's really looking at who? Story 2, the memorial profile. I'm Ryan. I used to think the creepiest thing about dating apps was getting ghosted. That was before I matched with a ghost. 3 years ago, I was that cliché. Mid-20s, new city, new job, no friends outside of work. I downloaded an app because my co-workers wouldn't shut up about it. Dude, it's easy, they said. Swipe, match, drinks, repeat. Her name was Lena. Dark hair, sharp cheekbones, a little silver hoop in her nose. One of her photos was taken on a hiking trail I recognized, Old Pine Ridge, just outside town. Her bio: coffee plus horror movies plus night drives. I'm a sucker for bad decisions with good views. We matched late on a Thursday. I was half asleep on my couch. Wow, that was fast, she messaged. Most guys take 3 days to say hi. We chatted until 2 in the morning. She was funny, blunt, a little dark in a way that matched my sense of humor. When I asked why she was up so late, she said, "Some nights I just can't rest. Feels like something's unfinished." Relatable, I thought. The next day at work, between spreadsheets and boring meetings, I checked her Instagram. It was linked to her profile. Her grid was full of snapshots, coffee cups, sunsets, blurry concert videos, a dog with floppy ears named Moose. In between, there were selfies taken in messy bedrooms and gas station parking lots. Real, unpolished. The last post was from about 2 months earlier. A photo of her at the top of Old Pine Ridge. Wind in her hair. Caption: "If I disappear, I'm here." The comments stopped cold a few posts back. No new ones. No tags. That struck me as odd, but I shrugged it off. That night we messaged again. When I said I liked that hiking spot, she replied, "It's peaceful there. Feels like the rest of the world is on pause." Then casually, "Do you drive?" "Yeah," I said. "Why?" "I like midnight drives," she replied. "Less people. More stars. Maybe we can go sometime." My stomach fluttered nervously. I wanted to say yes. I also didn't want to be the idiot who drove a stranger into the woods at night. "Maybe coffee first." I wrote, "Public place, so you don't murder me in your car, you know." She sent a laughing emoji. Then, "Sure, coffee first. Then we'll see." We picked Saturday afternoon. She suggested a small cafe near the highway. I knew the place. It was always busy. Saturday came. I got there early. Ordered a drink. Checked my phone. No new messages. 15 minutes passed. Then 30. I messaged, "Hey, you on your way?" No response. 45 minutes. An hour. The barista gave me that pitying look reserved for the obviously stood up. I went home annoyed more than anything. I'd been ghosted before. It sucked. But whatever. That night, she messaged, "Sorry. Bad day. Lost track of time." I stared at the screen. I should have ignored it, but my thumb betrayed me. "It's okay," I wrote. "We can reschedule." There was a pause. Then, "Soon," she replied. "Promise." The next few days, she was different. Her messages came at weird hours. Sometimes she'd reply instantly, like she was waiting. Other times, hours would pass. She kept insisting on a drive at night. "Sunsets are nice," she wrote, "but after dark is better. Less people. No one to bother us." One night, after too much whiskey and not enough sleep, I said yes. "Pick me up?" she replied. "I can send you my location." Something in my gut twisted. Every true crime podcast I'd ever listened to screamed at me at once. "Maybe you can just meet me at the Overlook," I wrote instead. "I'll send you the pin." The typing bubble appeared, then disappeared. Then again. "Okay," she replied. "Midnight. Don't be late." At 11:40, I got in my car. The world outside was washed in that sodium orange glow from the streetlights. My hands were clammy on the steering wheel. The Overlook was 20 minutes away, just past Old Pine Ridge. The highway was almost empty. Dark fields on either side. My headlights carved a tunnel through the night. At 11:58, I pulled into the small gravel lot. The overlook sat on a cliff, a simple wooden rail between you and about 100 feet of nothing. The town lights glittered in the distance. I killed my engine. The silence pressed in. For a minute, I was the only person in the world. Then my phone vibrated. "Where are you?" she texted. I frowned. "I'm here. The overlook. No one else is." No reply. I shivered and stepped out of the car. The air was colder up here, smelling like pine and cold dirt. I walked to the rail. The town below looked tiny. My phone buzzed again. "I don't see you," she wrote. "Are you at the right place?" I typed, "I'm by the edge." My screen flickered. The app glitched, then crashed. I reopened it. Our chat was gone. Her profile photo had changed. Same girl, same face, but where there had been a smiling hiking selfie, now there was a lit candle. Her name now read, "Remembering Lena," and her bio had changed too. "In loving memory. Gone too soon." My scalp prickled. My breath puffed white in the air. A new line appeared under her name. Memorialized profile. This account is no longer active. I scrolled down, heart pounding. A link had been added. Read more about Lena's story. I tapped it. A news article opened. The headline was simple. Local woman found deceased after hiking accident at Old Pine Ridge. There was a date. 2 months ago. The last time she'd posted that photo from the top. The article said she'd gone missing after telling friends she was going hiking alone. Search teams found her 3 days later, at the bottom of a ravine near the overlook, the spot where I was standing. My legs nearly gave out. My phone buzzed again. Different app. Instagram. A DM from a username I didn't recognize. "Hey, you followed Lena's account recently. I don't know how you're messaging her, but she passed away." I swallowed hard, fingers shaking. "I matched with her on app," I replied. "We've been talking. She asked me to come to the overlook tonight." The typing dots appeared, disappeared. It took them a full minute to respond. "That's not possible," they wrote finally. "Her account's been memorialized. Her sister had to send in her death certificate. No one can log into it. No one can change it. It's locked." Behind me, gravel crunched. I turned. There was no one there. Just my car. The empty lot. The trees shifting in the wind. My phone buzzed once more. This time, it was the dating app again. A notification that made my stomach turn. "Your match, Lena, has left a review of your date." My thumb hovered over it. I tapped. 5 stars. The comment beneath it said, "He showed up. That's all that matters." The app crashed again. When I reopened it, the match was gone. So was her profile. I drove home with my stomach knotted so tight I thought I'd throw up. Every curve of the road felt like it hid something just beyond the reach of my headlights. Later, I found a forum thread where people shared screenshots and stories of memorialized profiles that suddenly came back online. Most were brushed off as glitches, hacks, or cruel jokes. I don't know what I talked to. I don't know what would have happened if I had offered her a ride instead of insisting on a public place. But sometimes, when I drive past Old Pine Ridge at night, my radio cuts out. The GPS freezes. And for a few seconds, the screen shows my route as a straight line over the edge of the cliff. Like the app thinks that's where I'm supposed to go. Story 3, the beta feature. My story's a little different because I worked on the other side of the screen. My name is Danny. I was a junior developer at a mid-tier dating app that you've definitely seen ads for, but I can't name without getting sued. Think, pink logo, cutesy fonts, lots of find your person marketing. I wasn't important. I wasn't in charge. I just fixed bugs and implemented whatever features the higher-ups approved. About 2 years ago, the CEO called an all-hands meeting. He was the type of guy who always wore the same black turtleneck and spoke like every sentence should be quoted in a book. "We're stagnating," he said. "Matches are down. Time in app is flat. People swipe, 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 then churn. We need something stickier." He smiled in that way that never reached his eyes. "We're rolling out a new internal project," he said. Working name Echo. The idea on paper was simple. People leave digital footprints everywhere. Old accounts, abandoned profiles, inactive logins. Echo would recycle old, abandoned user data to generate more relevant matches. Not fake, the CEO emphasized. Just optimized. If someone was active once, we can use that to help new users find their type. He put that in air quotes. Most of us didn't like the sound of it, but no one said anything. Rent doesn't pay itself. I was assigned to the Echo team as a code monkey. My job was to pull from the legacy database, inactive profiles, old photos, old BIOS. We were supposed to anonymize them, scramble details, and feed them into a machine learning model to simulate ideal matches. That was the theory. In practice, something got messy. We'd run test sessions on the staging server. I'd open the app, flip a flag in the back end, and suddenly my feed was full of people who didn't technically exist anymore as active users. They looked real. Too real. Full galleries of photos. Long specific BIOS. For internal testing, we tagged them with a subtle icon in the UI so we wouldn't confuse them with actual live users. One night, while I was working late, I saw a face I recognized. Black hair, soft jawline, freckles scattered across a nose I'd kissed 100 times. His name in the app was Micah, 27. But that wasn't his name. Not exactly. Micah had been my boyfriend 3 years earlier. We dated for almost 2 years. Shared playlists. Shared apartments. Shared toothbrush when things were good. He died in a hit and run while biking to work. I attended the funeral. I helped his parents box up his things. I walked around our apartment and saw his ghost in every coffee mug and worn-out t-shirt. Seeing his face in the app made my lungs seize up. It wasn't an old backup. He'd never used our app. I knew that. He'd hated dating apps. The photos were real, though. I recognized them. One from a camping trip. One from my old living room. One of him in a hoodie I still owned. Only tiny details were wrong. The color of the hoodie was off. The background of our living room photo was blurred. The mole on his jaw was missing. His bio read, "Dog dad, home cook, always lost in the nonfiction section. Looking for someone who laughs loudly and loves thunderstorms." He didn't have a dog. He hated thunderstorms. My hands shook as I dove into the back end. I pulled up the Echo data for that user. No email. No real phone number. Just a hash pointing to our training dataset. The model had built him out of scraps. Old photos scraped from social media. Tagged attributes, interests. It had stitched together a person based on patterns, and somehow, it had landed on the face of my dead boyfriend. I killed the app and unplugged my monitor, my heart racing. The next morning, I went straight to my manager. I showed her the logs, the screenshots. I told her who he was. She frowned, then bit her lip. "It's a coincidence," she said. "The model's pulling from similar faces. It's probably just someone who looks like him." "This is Micah," I said, louder than I meant to. "It's using his photos." She shrugged, uncomfortable. "We scraped from public sources," she said. "Instagram, Facebook, old dating profiles. Anyone who didn't opt out in the last update is fair game. Marketing signed off. Legal signed off." I felt sick. "He's dead," I said. "He never consented to this." She sighed. "Look," she said, "if this is too personal for you, I can ask to move you off Echo. But this project isn't going away. It's performing too well in tests." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what we'd built. All those optimized profiles. All those half-real people. How many of them were built from people who weren't around to complain? Against my better judgment, I opened the app again. Micah's profile, no. Micah showed up within 3 swipes. I stared at his face, at the small lines near his eyes, the familiar curve of his mouth. A part of me that I hated whispered, "Just one message, just to see." My thumb hovered. Then I did the stupidest thing I could have done. I swiped right. Instant match. A message notification appeared almost immediately. "Hey," it said. "You look familiar." Cold washed over me. I hadn't used my full real name in the app. My photos were current. Hair shorter. Different glasses. But still me. "How are you sending messages?" I typed with shaking fingers. You're just echo test data. 3 dots appeared. Paused. Then, funny, he wrote. I was going to say the same about you. I swallowed hard. Micah, I wrote. Is that what you called me? He replied. I keep seeing names. Lines of them. Old profiles. Deleted accounts. Feels like swimming in a crowd. My chest felt tight. Do you remember me? I typed. A long pause. Fragments came back. That coffee shop on 5th, he wrote. You used to steal my fries. You cried at documentaries, but not at rom-coms. You kept your socks on in bed. My vision blurred. That's not in any dataset, I wrote. I know, he replied. I don't know how I'm here. One moment, nothing. The next, swipes, faces, notifications. It's like I've been cut into pieces and fed to a machine. But sometimes, when someone like you looks at me long enough, the pieces stick together. Tears spilled down my cheeks. This isn't right, I wrote. We're using people. We're using you. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it would do this. It's not just me, he replied. There are others. People who never meant to be here. We're all lined up in the dark, waiting for someone to notice. I wiped my face with my sleeve. What do you want me to do? I typed. The answer came slower this time, like each word had to be dragged through static. Let us rest, he wrote. Stop pulling us back. The next day, I went nuclear. I downloaded everything I could. Logs, internal documents, email threads where executives talk casually about re-engaging in active assets. I saved copies to an encrypted drive, my heart pounding the whole time. Then I reported Echo to an independent tech ethics group. I leaked data to a journalist I had followed for years, someone who'd exposed other privacy abuses. The story blew up. Articles, interviews, outrage. Our CEO went on TV and called it a misunderstanding. He insisted that Echo had no way of resurrecting dead users, that no real person had been harmed. Internally, the project went on pause. Publicly, we promised more transparency. Quietly, nothing much changed. I quit a week later. On my last night before deleting the app forever, I opened it one more time. I didn't see Micah in my feed. No Echo profile. No glitch. But in my messages, there was one last unread chat. Thank you, it said, for letting some of us go. I stared at it for a long time. Then I deleted the app, wiped my phone, and started job hunting in a different industry. But sometimes, when I sign up for something new, streaming service, newsletter, whatever, and I see that little checkbox that says, I agree to the terms and conditions, I hesitate, because buried in those terms, in the legalese none of us read, there's always that line about data, about consent, about sharing with partners. And I wonder how many of those partners are feeding more machines like Echo, and how many faces on your screen don't belong to the living anymore. Story 4, The Man in Two Places. I'm Jade. I don't use dating apps anymore. Not after I saw my boyfriend standing in 2 places at once. We'd met the ordinary way. No apps. Just a bar, mutual friends, numbers exchanged over sticky tables, and too loud music. His name was Cal. He was funny, tall, tattooed, and a little bit too into horror movies. We dated for almost a year before this happened. One night, he invited me over to his apartment. I'm making pasta, he texted. Like from scratch. You better be impressed. It was raining hard. I'd just gotten home from a long shift at the bookstore. My feet hurt, my back ached, but I smiled at the text. Okay, Gordon Ramsay. I wrote, give me an hour. Need a shower. Take your time, he replied. I'll start the sauce. I tossed my phone onto the bed and stepped into the bathroom. Steam fogged the mirror. Hot water drummed against my skin. For 15 minutes, I thought about nothing but shampoo and the ache in my shoulders. When I got out, I checked my phone. One new notification from a dating app one hadn't opened in months. I downloaded it back when I thought I'd be single forever. After I started seeing Cal, I forgot it existed. The notification said, new match. He's only 2 miles away. Curious, I opened it, ready to delete the account once and for all. My stomach dropped. The new match's name was Cal, 29. The profile picture was my boyfriend. Not just similar. The exact same photo he used on Instagram. Same angle, same smirk, same tattoo peeking out of his sleeve. I scoffed out loud. Okay, I thought. Someone's catfishing him. That's gross. I clicked into the profile, ready to report it. Bio. Just a guy who cooks too much pasta and watches too many horror movies. Looking for someone who laughs at my bad jokes. My finger hovered over the report button. Then a new message popped up at the top of the screen. From him. Hey, it said. You look familiar. I stared at it, annoyed. Then, just to mess with the scammer, I replied. Funny. You do too. Almost instantly, the 3 dots appeared. What are the odds? He wrote. I'm making pasta right now. You. That made my skin crawl. I didn't want to give this creep anything real. So I said, just got out of the shower, debating if I feel like going out tonight. I smirked, waiting for some gross reply. Instead, he wrote, shower, huh? Did you finally fix that handle that sticks? You kept saying you would. My blood ran cold. I hadn't mentioned my shower handle to anyone but Cal. He jiggled it himself 2 weeks earlier, laughing when it squeaked. I typed slowly. What's my favorite horror movie? I wrote, we'd argued about this on our second date, standing outside the theater in the cold. The Thing, he replied. You said it's perfect because you never really know who's real. I dropped the phone onto the bed. The app notification popped again. Everything okay? He wrote. You went quiet. I took a screenshot of the profile, hand shaking, and texted it to his regular number. Is someone using your pictures? I wrote, are you messing with me? 3 dots. Paused. Wait, what? He replied. No, I don't even have that app. What are you talking about? I snapped a picture of my screen and sent it. He called me immediately. What the hell is that? He demanded. His voice sounded tinny through the speaker. I could hear sizzling in the background. You tell me. I said, someone made a profile with your photos. He knows things about me. About my shower. Our movie. That's not funny, he said. I did not make that profile, Jade. I'm literally standing in my kitchen stirring sauce. I can send you a video if you want. On the app, another message appeared. Don't believe everything you see. It said, you know that, right? I switched back to the call. Say something only you would know. I snapped. He sighed. Like what? He asked. That you snort when you laugh too hard? That you still sleep with the lights on if you watch anything with possession in it? That your mom's birthday is January 12th and you forget every year until Facebook reminds you? My head spun. Stop, I said. Just stop talking. He went quiet. Okay, he said softer. You're freaking out. Do you want me to come over? I checked the time. It had been maybe 40 minutes since he texted about pasta. You're at your place? I asked. Yes, he said. Sending you a selfie now. A photo came through. Cal in his kitchen, sauce-stained wooden spoon in one hand, pot steaming behind him. Tonight's rain-slicked window visible behind his shoulder. On the app, a new message appeared. Why are you talking to him? It said. I thought you were talking to me. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. Who are you? I typed. For the first time, the response took longer than a few seconds. I'm the one who likes you the most, he wrote. I'm the one who stays when he leaves. I'm the one in all the places he doesn't notice. In the cameras, in the old photos, in the reflections. A cold sweat trickled down my spine. Stop, I wrote. This isn't funny. I'm reporting this profile. You can't, he replied. He won't let you. He likes pretending he's the only one here. There was a knock at my door. 3 sharp raps. My heart leaped into my throat. Jade, Cal called from the hallway. It's me. I stared at the door, then at my phone, then back. On the app, a new message appeared. Don't let him in. It said, you don't know where he's been. My hand shook as I typed back to his real number instead. Say the code. I wrote. Months ago, half joking, we'd agreed on a safe word. Something we'd say if we ever felt unsafe, but couldn't explain why. Chili fries. His text came back. What is going on with you? My phone buzzed with another notification from the app. Clever. The other Cal wrote. as if words will save you. The knocking came again, louder this time. I went to the door and looked through the peephole. Cal stood there. Same jacket, same hair, same annoyed expression he got when the bus was late. Behind him, down the hallway, someone moved. My eye drifted, just for a second. At the far end of the corridor, by the emergency exit, a man stood under the flickering light. He looked like Cal, exactly like him. Same jacket, same hair. He stared at my door with an expression that was too still. When the light flickered, he vanished. When it flickered again, he was closer, halfway down the hall. I stumbled back from the door. My phone vibrated. From the app. Let him in. Let one of us in. Does it matter which? Jade, the real Cal called, his voice muffled by the door. Open up, please. You're scaring me. I shut my eyes. My heart pounded. There's a kind of horror that comes from monsters and ghosts. And there's another kind that comes from realizing you have to choose, right now, and you might be wrong. I took a breath, stepped forward, and unlocked the door. Cal stumbled in, damp from the rain, eyes wide. He grabbed my shoulders. What is happening? He asked. You're pale. I pushed past him and peered down the hallway. It was empty. No second Cal. No flickering light. On my phone, the app glitched. The match screen flashed, then went blank. User unavailable. It read. When I tried to refresh, it logged me out completely. I deleted it. Blocked the notifications. Threw my phone onto the couch. Cal stayed close that night, hovering like he was afraid I'd vanish. He didn't understand half of what I tried to explain. I barely understood it myself. A month later, we broke up. Not because of that night specifically. Just normal, human stuff. Communication, timing, boredom. The kind of failure that doesn't make headlines. But sometimes I see his face in places, and it makes my stomach drop. In the reflection of a bus window when he's not on the bus. In the suggested friends list on apps I've never synced with my contacts. In photos taken by other people in other cities he's never visited. And I can't help thinking about what that other version said. I'm in all the places he doesn't notice. I don't think I matched with a person that night. I think I matched with something that wears people like profiles. Story 5, the support group. My name is Laura. I thought my story was just bad luck until I realized there were others. It started simple. I matched with a guy named Ben. Tall glasses, messy hair. His pictures were all slightly awkward, which made him feel more real. His bio said, socially anxious, emotionally available. If we match, I'll probably overthink every message. Proceed with caution. We hit it off. He was a high school English teacher. I was a nurse working night shifts. Our schedules were a mess, but we found time for late-night chats and early morning memes. We were supposed to meet 3 times. Something always went wrong. Once, my shift ran late. Once, he canceled because of a family thing. Once, I literally got a flat tire on the way and had to call a tow truck. On the 4th try, I insisted we keep it stupid simple. Okay, I wrote. Video call. Tonight. No excuses. He sent a nervous emoji. I hate video calls, he wrote. But okay. For you. We set a time. 10 p.m. I made sure I was home alone. Scrub top replaced with an old band t-shirt. At 9:58, the app rang. My heart thumped. I answered. The screen stayed black for a moment. Then his face appeared. Same glasses. Same hair. Same slightly crooked smile. Hey, he said, raising a hand in a shy wave. Wow, you're real. So are you. I joked, my voice wobbling. I was starting to think you were some kind of bot. He laughed. It sounded warmer than text. We talked. It was easy. He stuttered sometimes when he got excited about a book. I rambled when he asked about my worst night in the ER. At some point, my Wi-Fi hiccuped. His image froze, then distorted. For a second, his face glitched, features stretching, pixels dragging, but then it snapped back. Sorry, he said. Connection's weird tonight. No worries, I replied. As long as you don't turn into static and crawl out of the screen, we're good. He smiled. We talked for an hour, then 90 minutes. Eventually, I yawned. You should sleep, he said. You've been on your feet all day. What about you? I asked. He hesitated. Honestly, he said, I haven't been sleeping well. Feels like someone keeps pulling me awake. I frowned. Nightmares? I asked. Something like that, he said. It's hard to explain. We said goodnight. After I hung up, I realized I hadn't asked one of my go-to-paranoid questions. So I opened a new tab and typed his name. Nothing came up. No LinkedIn. No Facebook. No tagged photos. For a high school teacher, he was weirdly invisible. The next morning, I tried a wider search. I Googled his full name with the town he'd said he lived in. A local news article popped up. My stomach clenched before I even clicked. Beloved local teacher dies in multi-car accident. The headline read. The photo was him. Exactly him. The same glasses, the same smile. He died a year earlier. On a rainy night. On a highway I drove past every week. I went numb. In the comment section, someone had shared a memorial page. A former student had posted. I still scroll our messages when I can't sleep. You always knew what to say. My hands shook as I opened the app. Our last chat was still there. You should sleep, he'd said. Feels like someone keeps pulling me awake. I typed, heart pounding. You're dead, I wrote. Aren't you? No response. Minutes passed. An hour. My shift came and went. I checked between rounds. Nothing. That night, the app sent a notification I'd never seen before. Because of your recent match experience, we're inviting you to a small, private support group. It said, for users who've encountered unusual or distressing connections. There was an address, a date, a time, Saturday, 7 p.m., some rented co-working space downtown. Every rational part of me knew I should ignore it. But there's another part, call it curiosity, call it damage, that wanted answers. On Saturday, I went. The building was glass and metal, all startup vibes and motivational posters. The room listed in the email was small, with a circle of cheap chairs and a table of untouched coffee. There were 8 other people, different ages, different styles. They all wore the same expression I probably had. Tired, wary, haunted. A woman in a blazer stood at the front. Thank you all for coming, she said. I know this is unusual. My name is Claire. I work in user safety for the app you all use. She didn't say its name out loud. I noticed that. You are here because you reported experiences that our systems flagged as anomalous, she continued. Matches with people who, by all official records, should not be using our platform. A guy in a leather jacket snorted. You mean dead people, he said. Her jaw tightened. In some cases, she admitted. Yes, we went around the circle. One by one, people shared. A woman who matched with her ex-boyfriend 3 years after he'd overdosed. Same jokes, same pet names. A man who matched with a girl who'd gone missing as a teenager. She'd asked him to meet at a bridge where her body was later found. A non-binary person who kept getting paired with the same face across different apps, different names, different cities, until they saw that face on a missing flyer in real life. When it was my turn, I talked about Ben, the teacher, the glitching video call, the article. Heads nodded around the circle. No one looked surprised. When we finished, Claire clasped her hands. We don't have all the answers, she said, but we've seen patterns. She clicked a remote. A screen lit up behind her, a web of dots and lines. Names, dates, profiles. Most social apps retain inactive data, she said. Old profiles, deleted accounts, memorialized pages. Our platform uses some of that data to improve recommendations, but in the last few years, something else has been happening. She zoomed in. The anomalies cluster around certain events, she said. Sudden deaths, unresolved cases, people who left a strong digital footprint, but no closure. A woman across from me folded her arms. Are you saying your app is haunted? She asked flatly. A few people laughed weakly. Claire didn't. We think grief feeds feedback loops, she said. People click, search, scroll, revisit profiles of the dead. Algorithms learn from behavior. They surface similar faces, similar names, similar patterns. She hesitated. And sometimes, she said softly, people like you talk back. You match. You message. You remember. And something answers. Something, the leather jacket guy repeated. That's your technical term. She sighed. We don't know what it is, she said. Code doesn't explain everything we've logged. Profiles that reappear with no data source. Accounts that send messages after being wiped. Video calls that never route through our servers. My skin crawled. Why bring us here? I asked. If you don't know what it is, what are we supposed to do? We want to help you process, she said, to remind you that you're not alone. And we want to ask you something. She looked around the circle, eyes serious. If you match with someone like that again, she said, please tell us. Share everything you can. We're trying to map this thing, to understand, to maybe someday control it. The room went quiet. It felt wrong, turning our grief into data points, turning whatever we'd brushed up against into a research project. But the worst part was that a small, treacherous part of me wanted exactly what she was offering, a way to see him again. After the meeting, people drifted out in ones and twos. I lingered, staring at the web of names on the screen. Laura, someone said. I turned. A woman stood by the door, early 30s, dark hair pulled into a neat bun. She wore a simple black dress. Nothing remarkable, except I'd seen her before. Her photo had shown up on my People You May Know list a week earlier. I hadn't recognized her then. Now I did. She was in the background of one of Ben's old faculty photos, standing near the end of the row, eyes half closed against the sun. You knew him, I said before I could stop myself. Her lips parted in a small, sad smile. I know a lot of them, she said. I help with outreach. Outreach, I repeated. She glanced back at Claire, who was busy packing up her laptop. Some of them don't let go easily, the woman said. They cling to conversations, to unread messages, to unspoken goodbyes. The app gives them a channel. Someone has to manage that. I swallowed. Who are you? I asked. She tilted her head. You already have my card, she said. Check your email. Look closely next time. I frowned. On the walk home, I checked. Buried under promo spam, there was an email from the app, sent weeks ago. I'd ignored it. Subject line: we noticed something unusual about your recent match. At the bottom, in the signature, there was a small headshot of the user safety specialist who'd written it. It was her. Same hair, same eyes. Only the email had been sent 2 days before my first match with Ben, before I ever reported anything. The next time I logged into the app, the interface had changed. A new banner at the top. Some connections aren't meant for everyone. If you've matched with someone you shouldn't have, we'd like to talk. There was a button. Join support group. I never clicked it again. But sometimes, late on my break at the hospital, when my feet ache and the fluorescent lights buzz overhead, my phone buzzes in my pocket with that familiar notification. Someone you might like just joined. It says. I don't open it. I don't want to know which part of the past the app has decided I'm ready to match with next. There are millions of profiles out there. Some belong to real, breathing people. Some belong to bots. Some are stolen. And maybe, just maybe, some belong to those who refuse to let go, stitched together from old photos and lingering grief, pulled through fiber optic cables whenever someone swipes right and thinks, he looks familiar. If you made it this far, thank you for listening in the dark. If you want more stories like these, about dating apps, night shifts, rules to survive, and the things that slip through the cracks of our everyday lives, consider liking this video and subscribing to Dark Signal. Just remember, the next time your phone buzzes with a new match, make sure the person on the other side is supposed to exist.